Hallo und herzlich willkommen zurück oder auch erstes Mal hier auf der Rockantenne Bühne bei der Guitar Summit. Wir freuen uns sehr, dass wir von Rockantenne dieses Jahr mit dabei sein können bei Europas größter Gitarrenmesse. Mein Name ist David Löwe, ich bin Moderator bei Rockantenne und wir werden hier ein paar Interviews führen die nächsten Tage und jetzt freue ich mich sehr. I'm super excited.
You super excited?
I'm super excited.
Super excited.
Super excited.
Super
Super
excited.
duper excited to have an amazing guitarist sitting right next to me. The wonderful, the one and only, the sexy, the funny, Phil X.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. This is my radio voice. How's it going, everybody? Wolfman Jack. Okay, go. So,
How you doing, man?
I'm good, man. Nice to meet you. Nice to talk. We could talk with you. Nice for everybody to show up. Thank you so much.
All these beautiful people.
All these beautiful people. See, crazy.
What is written on your arm? Haven't seen that before.
This is my dad, Panayotis, and this is my mom, Yanula. And they're not with us anymore, so they're on my arm. And yes, my mom's closer to my heart.
I wasn't going to say anything.
Well, come on. It's mom.
It's mom.
Yeah.
True. We're at a guitar convention.
Yes.
So I'm going to talk about guitars first.
And I want to apologize because they're like, you can play, but I don't play sitting down. And I don't play with headphones. So I'm just going to talk.
And we don't have like your brand up here, so fuck it anyway.
You can say fuck.
Yeah, sure.
Fuck it anyway.
It's Germany. We can say anything. Freedom of speech, brother.
Dude. So going way back when I did radio spots for Germany.
Yeah.
I did some rock antenna. Rock antenna!
You did?
I fucking did, man.
Well,
We have to dig into the archives.
I will. When I get back, I will. In 2019,
Yes.
jump right in. You became a Gibson artist.
Yes.
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 What does it mean to you to be a brand ambassador for like one of the behemoths of guitar making?
Behemoth is the word, man. So when I was growing up, everybody so first it was when I was 10 or 11, I became a huge Ted Nugent fan, Gibson Birdland. Black Sabbath, SG, with Tony Iommi. Angus Young, SG. And then Jimmy Page with the Les Paul, and the Scorpions with the Flying V, and the Explorer, and it was all Gibson. So I've always been, what made me not do Gibson was being a huge Eddie Van Halen fan, and then wanting to do more of bodies and parts and build it yourself. And so you could do that because I can't build an SG or a Gibson Les Paul. No, I'm bad with glue. It gets everywhere. So what worked for me was I learned how to wire pickups, and that was really cool, but I didn't have a router, so I had to take a chisel to a Strat and all that shit, right? But then later on in life, I really loved having a stop tailpiece instead of a whammy bar because you guys, I'm so old. I did the transition from 80s to 90s, and the difference was the whammy bar. You could be Steve Vai and Joe Satriani and use a whammy bar, and that would be fine. But if you were trying to do modern music, it wasn't fine. Everybody, can you get rid of that wiggle thing? And then, so I got used to playing with the hard tailpiece. And then I wanted an SG, but I have a thing for quality control. So for the longest time, Gibson wasn't so good with the quality control. And that's a long time ago. And what happened, and it's not me, like I could walk in and I could pick up a beautiful Les Paul that looks amazing, but it doesn't sound very good and it doesn't feel very good because it wasn't set up right because of the quality control or the lack thereof. And for me, it's like, I don't care. I put it back. But you got a kid who saves all their money to go buy a Gibson Les Paul because Jimmy Page uses it, and they get a non-good version of it for like $4,000 that they saved. And that kind of bugged me. So in 2019, I was at the Dallas International Guitar Show, and I was talking to Gibson, and they say, we've changed everything. Our quality control is amazing. And we needed to come to Nashville and check out the factories. And I did, and I was blown away. And the one thing that really hit me, like really, really hard, was everybody at whether you were putting binding on a Les Paul or wiring up an SG or doing whatever to like a Flying V or something, everybody was happy. Like, oh man, these people love their jobs. Okay, this got to be a really great company. So they wooed me, and I got wooed, and I've been in there since.
Yeah, I grew up watching my dad play like a '60s Gibson Les Paul Sunburst, so
Nice.
I get it.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
for sure.
beautiful guitars. Um, you have a signature Friedman amp, and you had a signature Yamaha guitar. You know what question comes next? Is there
Gibson.
anything you can tell us about maybe the Phil X signature Gibson model?
I can tell you that it goes really slow. But it's me too. It's research. You know, they make a guitar, and I want gold, and I wanted to be able to see the wood grain. You know, so we called it TV gold. And then the first one that I got had too much copper in the gold. So with a torch and some paint remover, that went away. And then I got the gold, and it's beautiful. And it's fantastic. And they're like, you know what? It's really hard for us to nail this color every time. So maybe you can pick another color. So that became another step in the research. And then another thing too is that the gold looks beautiful, and under some stage lighting, it looks like almost like sparkle. And under other lighting, it looks like antique furniture, which isn't very rock and roll, right? So I'm good with another color, but then they have a hard time picking another color. And well, we can't do that. That's a custom shop color. That's not a USA color. And we want to keep the price point lower. So we're going with USA. So, and then the pickups. Okay, so I got soap bar pickups, and I love these things. But I'm in the studio one day, and I'm like, you know what? I wish the pickup was a little closer. But because it's a dog ear, I'm sorry. The two original pickups are dog ear P90s, and you can't raise the level. So with the soap bars, you can raise the height of the pickup. So then I switched to P90 soap bars, and the P90s that are going in the guitar are made by Gibson. Jim DeCola sent me some versions of my pickup, and then I picked the one, and I'm really excited about it. So, I mean, you can hear from this very long, stupid story that's why it takes a long time.
But it's in the making.
It's in the making, yeah.
All right, cool.
I'm using one today. I'm using prototype number 3 at my master class today, and then I'm playing with Jared tonight, Nichols, and Greg Koch tomorrow. I'll be using that guitar. That's my main guitar. It's because I have so many guitars that I record with. So this song needs a Les Paul. This overdub needs a Strat, and then I'm gonna pick up my guitar and play the solo. And when I put that guitar in my hands, it just feels like the guitar. And I've never had that. All the signatures that I had with other companies, it's not this. This is I pick up this guitar, and it's like, holy shit, this guitar was just, oh yeah, it was made for me. It's like that.
So signature Gibson coming. How about a signature Bouzouki?
Whoa, dude, what?
Yeah.
I've never thought of that, but maybe I should. If I played more Bouzouki.
But you do play Bouzouki.
Occasionally. I'm a really emotional guy. And even my wife makes fun of me. She's like, you cry at the stupidest moments in movies. And I'm like, hey man, I'm emotional. So when I pick up the Bouzouki sometimes, I remember how my dad used to play around the house, and it's hard to play. It's like I grew up with Greek music, so even when I hear Greek music, it hits me in the heart, and it's tough sometimes.
But you did grow up playing Bouzouki yourself, right?
I started with guitar, and then later it was Bouzouki, and it really did something amazing for my picking. Like I was talking to Andy Wood about this, because he plays mandolin, and he can slay a mandolin. But I'm thinking, so you probably brought a lot of that speed picking on mandolin into guitar playing. That's what I did with Bouzouki. So it's what he did, and it's what I did, and you can really hear it. You can hear the articulation, because there's no distortion. There's no cheating. And that's why I'm so sloppy lately.
I expect a royalty check whenever the Phil X Bazooki signature model comes out.
Yeah, you have a commission.
Awesome. A lot of people know you from a lot of different projects.
Yes.
But you've played. I have to look at the list because there are so many people that you have played as a session guitarist for.
Yes.
Chris Cornell, Tommy Lee, Methods of Mayhem, Hailstorm, Avril Lavigne, Kelly Clarkson, Orianthi, Rob Zombie, Chris Daughtry, Alice Cooper, Jesus Christ. Well, not Jesus Christ, but did any of these artists jump out specifically to you, like either for their musical expertise or because you enjoyed working with them so much?
I'm a positive guy, so I find the good in anyone. They could come in and be an asshole, and I'll just find the bright side because that's how I work. That's how I make music, right? So, but key factors. Chris Cornell, unbelievable. He's my one didn't get a selfie regret. Because I don't want to be the guy in the studio. Hey, man, let's get a selfie, man. Let's do it between takes. I don't want to be that guy. But now that he's not with us anymore, that'll never happen again. And his voice was amazing. When you grow up idolizing somebody's voice, and then you're playing guitar and you're hearing their voice come through the speakers in the studio, there is nothing like that. Nothing. And then I remember being in the studio with Chris Daughtry, who is the real deal. He's got that voice. And he hadn't sung a guy vocal to the song that I was recording. And I was looking for a secondary part in the chorus. And I go, hey, Chris, can you come and just sit? Mike, play the track, and then Chris sing the chorus in my ear so I know what to play. So him singing in my ear, it sounded recorded, compressed, mastered, pressed, and in the store. Just out of his throat. I mean, there's not a lot of people that have that, and he has that.
Chris's voice is amazing.
He's amazing. Gavin DeGraw, his voice is amazing. Lizzie Hale, her voice is amazing. I got to work with some of the best singers in the world. So I'm very happy and feel fortunate about that.
When you're playing in the studio or on any project that you're not like it's not a band that you're in, how much creative freedom do you have as a session guitarist when you come into the studio?
Well, it's your job to make whatever you're recording the best it could be. And I feel like my songwriting helps me like take the chorus to the next level. Every song, you want it to be a journey. You got, okay, this is the part that I'm going to do in the verse, and then that's got to climb a little bit to the pre-chorus, and then when we get to the chorus, we're going boom. So for me, that's more important, and complementing the vocal. The vocal is king. So when people hear the vocal, that's why singers come in and go, wow, I really love what he did in the chorus. Now, it is a problem when you come up with the part in the chorus and people walking around the studio are singing your part instead of the chorus. That's happened. Because that means that your part outshines the chorus, and maybe the chorus could be stronger. Right? So, sometimes people realize that and sometimes they don't. But it's not my job to, give you a lesson in choruses.
What do you feel like makes a good session guitarist compared to maybe playing live?
I mean, those are two completely different worlds. There's playing live and then being in the studio. In the studio, the creative aspect, like I just did a project that was really amazing. Like last week, I was in the studio. We played at the same time. So it was me on guitar, Tony Franklin from The Firm on bass, and Kim plays keyboards for Elton John. And then we have a drummer who's played everything from County Crows to anything you could think of. And we were playing live off the floor, and we recorded 12 bed tracks in 4 days. And they kept everything. And that to me is a chemistry that doesn't happen enough. Because most of the stuff you do is, hey, we recorded the drums here, we recorded the bass there, we're going to send you the tracks, you can play guitars, and then they're going to do vocals in Seattle. And there's something that's really cool about that, because I can create and do whatever I want. And then I'm the only one judging it and loving it or hating it and redoing it. When you're in a room with chemistry, like like Tony would play something on bass and it would totally inspire something else on guitar. And then Kim would play a piano part and I go, oh, I got to do this. And then when, we're at the end, the final chorus and Denny picks up the beat and just, goes a little ahead of the click to add a little tension. And then, oh, this is exciting. And then you start playing a completely other way. So that chemistry, I wish happened more. But I love doing everything. Like if it's a free canvas and there's nothing, you can do whatever you want. It's just, to me, again, it's about the vocal and complementing the vocal and making sure everything. And when it's a solo, sometimes it needs, a flurry of notes, and sometimes it just needs a melody to do escape over the chord progression. So I like being able to do both. And it's always me. I always got to leave a little fill on whatever track I'm playing. And sometimes it's something I've never played before. And sometimes it's something I did maybe once in like 10 years ago. And then I feel like, okay, now it's fill. Now I can let it out there.
You're going to leave a little fill, even though you're not a drummer. Get it? A little fill.
That's so bad.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Radio humor.
Hey, I need a better joke before we're done.
All right.
Okay, think about it.
I'm going to think about it.
Okay.
The pressure is on now. If there's anyone listening that would like to become a session guitarist, how do you get started in that?
Oh, fuck it. Do something else.
Yeah?
Yeah. It's so hard. It's so hard. The thing is, you can't just be a great musician anymore. You have to be an arranger. You have to think like a producer before the producer even walks into the room. You got to think of whatever's going to make something sound good. You got to have the tools. You can't just walk in. It's funny. When I played on the Alice Cooper record, Boodle Planet, I had to borrow a Les Paul because I didn't have one. And I knew I needed one because I listened to Alice Cooper, all the greatest hits. I was a fan. And I need a Les Paul. I need an SG. Well, I can't find an SG, but I'm going to borrow a Les Paul off my friend Matt. And I'm going to walk in with a borrowed Les Paul. You need to have tools. You need a Strat, a Tele, or types. There are other companies that make Fender type guitars, and sometimes they're better, sometimes whatever it is. But you need like a Les Paul, and you need a hollow body. And sometimes I'm gonna bring a Gretsch to this. I'm gonna bring my Les Paul and my SG, and my Explorer is amazing for leads on this kind of record. So I'm gonna bring that. And then you got a 100-watt Marshall type amp. I always take my Friedman. Always use my Friedman. And then I have like a Greer Mini Chief, which is a little, I don't know it's not boutique. It's more of it's got character to it. It's a 3-watt all-tube amp that you plug into a little speaker and get a little sound, plug into a big speaker and get a bigger sound. And then a combo, like a Matchless or a Vox AC30. You need all these tools. So it's an investment. So if you believe in yourself and you think you got chops and you think you got musical ideas and you can arrange, and then you got the money to go get stuff. Like when I put out a pickup and it's $140 and a kid goes, man, I really want to try your pickup, but I don't have $140. I'm like, cut some fucking lawns, man. I washed dishes at my dad's restaurant to buy my first 412 cabinet. So nobody gave me shit. My dad, I bought my first real guitar was a Fender Stratocaster. I was 11. I somehow scrounged together $175, and my dad matched it. And then we went to a weird guy's apartment and bought it. And I mean, that's you love it, and you have a passion for it when you'll do anything to get that. So I think that's really important, and a lot of people oversee or not really concentrate on that, And then, I mean, down the road, like, okay, sure, I'm walking around this Guitar Summit, and people are like, hey, we want to give you this pedal. Hey, we want to give you this. Hey, can you try our guitar? And stuff like that. Or where can I send this? Give me your address. It's like, sure, that happens. But before that happened, I was busting my ass to pay for gear. So I know what it's like. And that's what you got to do. That's how you start. And that's why I said, fucking do something else.
If you want to do it right. Put your back into it.
Yeah, exactly.
And don't do radio either. I don't know.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
You're doing a good job.
Less competition.
Except for
me.
that one joke.
The joke was awesome. If you want to hear more jokes like this, no. You kind of touched on young people trying to play guitar or break into the world of guitar, and I wanna connect to it because if you want to be precise, you could be considered one of the first guitar YouTubers.
I've heard that. Many
Yeah,
times.
the Fretted Americanas videos,
Yeah.
like back in the day,
Yeah.
like 14 years ago, 16 years ago, when
Yeah.
YouTube was still
Crazy.
rather new, and I've read a lot of people like crediting you with trailblazing guitar on YouTube.
Wow.
Um,
That's nice. Why is that funny?
I don't know.
You're a weird guy.
I know.
Bad jokes and laughing at weird stuff. No, I'm just kidding. Man.
That's
I like
good.
you.
I'm good. I like me too. No. Do you was that better?
That was awesome.
That was awesome. Thank you.
Yeah.
Do you think YouTube and online streaming have an impact on like the new and younger generations discovering guitar maybe in a time when less people actually pick up an instrument to learn it?
When I meet kids, like the younger generation, and then when I say kids now, it's between 10 and 20. And they love Zeppelin and Aerosmith and Def Leppard. I think that's good parenting, right? Because a lot of even my kids don't like rock. My son is going to be 11, and he doesn't like rock. He's listening to The Weeknd, who I like too. But then when you really got me, my Bluetooth in the car switches to my phone and plays "You Really Got Me" by Van Halen. He's like, "What's this?" And I'm like, "Shut up." Anyway, no, I'm not. But it's that thing, man. It's that thing. That's music is a beautiful thing, and music people connect, and if they connect to guitar music, that's fantastic. I think there are so many people online on YouTube, and they play faster than me and cleaner than me, but there's no soul. You know, my favorite description of Eddie Van Halen is that he had fire and joy. And so when I was 16, I'm thinking I'm not going to steal his licks because everybody else is. I got to be Phil X. I got to be an individual. I'm going to have my own licks. There's still fire and joy. And I mean, I've had everybody walk up to me and go, "Man, the joy you have on stage." I go, "Right? I know, man." And I'm not putting it on. I feel it with every iota of my being. I'm so happy to have a guitar in my hands and play for people. And that's all that fucking matters. And that's why YouTube is weird, because you're playing for your camera. So I leave my mistakes in there to make it more human. You know what I mean? Like, I don't care that, oh, I didn't hit that string. Fuck it. But I mean, I still take 9 takes sometimes. To be honest.
But do you think that like online guitar lessons and stuff like that, where you don't have a guitar teacher sitting in front of you, is that a valid way to learn guitar, or do you think nothing can replace somebody sitting in front of you screaming at you if you do something wrong?
I think before there's lessons, you should try to learn stuff by yourself. Like, you put on Highway to Hell and maybe watch one video of somebody playing Highway to Hell so you kind of figure out how they do it. And then when you get to the chorus, you go, okay, now I'm not going to listen to this guy. I'm not going to watch this guy, but I know I'm in the key of A, and the next chord is D, and then it goes G, D. When you learn that stuff by yourself, you train your ear. You don't even know you're training your ear. I didn't know I was training my ear when I learned 500 cover tunes when I was 17, so I could go play 3 45-minute sets every night. I didn't know that. And then I come here, and I don't read, and I'm doing a session, and the producer's like, "How are you picking up so fast?" I go, "'Cause I learned Eruption without YouTube and without the tablature. Is it tablature? It's tablature, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Wait, you play guitar, right?
I play bass and guitar.
Okay, good.
Why?
I didn't know for a second.
Oh, sorry.
But, so that's my ear training. My ear training was learning Aerosmith and AC/DC and Back in Black without help. And I think that's more important than like there's a kid I know, and he's been playing for 6 years, but sounds like he's been playing for 2 months, and he took lessons. So that teacher sucks, and maybe he doesn't practice, so he sucks. But the bottom line is, you see other people that have been playing for 6 months, and some that have been playing for like 20 years. They're amazing. It's not how long you've been playing; it's how much you put into it in that length of time. So, um, and again, the ear training thing is learning on your own and not watching a video. Because it's funny, because I watch somebody put up a video of playing the solo to Michael Jackson's "Beat It," like Eddie's solo, incorrectly. And now there's a whole slew of people playing it incorrectly because they learned it from that guy. Fuck that guy. Do it right or don't do it. And if you think it's right, maybe you still shouldn't put it up. I don't know. I don't know what the answer is. I just know it's better to learn it by yourself sometimes. I'm sorry my answers are really long.
No, it's
I
perfect.
can't stop talking.
No, it's good.
Okay. And I like these headphones.
People aren't here to listen to me. We're coming up towards the end, and I want to ask if anyone has any questions for Phil before I keep continuing. There was a double. Keep continuing. English is not my first language. Any questions? I will come. The lady was first. I will come to you, flying down the stage. Phil, you can sing us a song while I'm going down here.
All of me. Why not take all of me?
All right.
Hi, Phil.
Hi.
So the headphones were cutting out when you were mentioning the session you were doing with Kim Bullard, and I was wondering who the other two guys were.
Well, you knew his name. I didn't say his
Know
last
him.
name.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, he's amazing. Oh, you know what? So this is what happens. I'm in the studio, like I said, tracking all these with guys at the same time, and then I totally hit it off with Kim. And he wanted to hear some drills, so I sent him some new drills. And he sent me a drill song. I said, "Hey man, would you play clavinet on this? Because we have a new song. It's got Tico Torres on drums, and it's kind of like it's got a little Superstition, a little Fame, a David Bowie. It's got a little Last Child, Aerosmith, and the clavinet just took it over the top. And he sent me a track with clavinet on it, and it's like incredible. So now he's on the drills record, but it was Tony Franklin on bass, who is the fretless bass monster on Instagram, and Denny. I can't think of his last name. He played on with the biggest songs, probably me and Mrs. Jones and Me by Counting Crows. So that was him on drums. So you could Google that shit. I always say Google that shit because my kids say, "Dad, Google that," and then my son will be in the kitchen singing, and he's like, "Alexa, auto-tune Dad." Thanks, man. No, you can't have a new game.
How dare he? Are you happy? She is happy.
Is it
She's
good?
super happy. The drills ever coming to Germany and Luxembourg?
I'd love to. We were working on a bunch of UK dates, and then there was a possibility of Germany and Spain. And then the economy to come up from the US, it didn't make sense. So we're going to revisit that plan in the new year, like closer to the spring and summer, so we can book some festivals to supplement the expenses. So once that happens, then it's easy to do that. But when you're getting guarantees, say you even got guarantees of like $40,000 to come over here and do like 16 gigs. When you look at expenses and they're close to that, you're like, that's not going to make sense. So that's why we're making it. It has to make sense. I mean, if it was just me and I didn't have a family to provide for, then I'd fucking come here all the time and go home broke. I wouldn't care. because I can sleep on a friend's couch. But when I'm providing for a family, that can't happen. You know, you got to go home, you got to pay your mortgage, you got to pay the bills, you got to do all that stuff. So it's not, you know, I wouldn't mind it being a vacation and playing at the same time. But yeah, it's got to make sense.
We can pass a hat around and people put a few euros in so you can come.
Fucking do it.
New Drills album when?
Okay, so I don't know. I need to put another Instagram up because I announced the pre-sale of our new record, and it was supposed to come up in the summer, which is long gone. But it's because we've been in negotiation with the record label. So while we were in the midst of doing all that, the record label was like, "Hey, we want to put this record out." So I might be signing the dotted line this week, and then once that is done, then we can announce, "Hey, we're with this label," and project a day that the record comes out, and maybe a couple of singles first, probably too. Yeah. And because of the delay, because a lot of people did pre-order the record. Like I was pretty surprised at how much, but we will send them links, like an advanced single or two, just for being on our side. Like it was amazing to have. I did one thing where there's a guitar that I used to use with the drills and my band before, Powder. It's a sticker guitar. Everybody called it the sticker guitar. It was an LTD Viper. I had my own pickup in it. And then I thought, I don't need this guitar. I'm going to give this guitar away. So whoever, pre-orders the record now on vinyl can possibly win this guitar. Awesome. Killer. And then it's like, hey man, so now if you pre-order this record, your name will go on the liner notes in the inside sleeve. And then bam, another bunch of orders come in and stuff like that. I think you have to do stuff like that these days. Like, because before the label, mixing and mastering and pressing and all that stuff was going to come out of my body. My pocket. I don't know how it would get out of my body.
I would like to see.
Hey, easy. What happened?
I don't know.
My mic's not. Yeah, pocket. Out of my pocket.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
All right. I thought there was something else to the sentence. I think we're coming up on time, and
Okay.
Since we're in Germany, we have to be on time. Yeah. Phil X, thank you.
Thank you.
So much. Had a blast.
Yeah, it was fun. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Sit down. I'm just kidding, man. I'm just kidding.
Masterclass when today?
5:30?
5:30.
Yeah,
If there are
5:30.
still tickets, I think you can buy them upstairs.
I think it's sold out really
It's
quick.
sold out. Well, so fuck me. Thank you so much. Thank you, Phil.
I think you know someone now.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks, guys.